Good evening, and welcome to our Sunday night Satsang.
Hi, everybody.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you. And,
okay, we're live now. We're live now. We went live.
Okay, all right. Well, good evening. Good evening. Welcome to Sunday night Satsang with myself, John Homewood, and
Michelle McClunan. Hi, everyone.
Michelle McClunan. If you're joining us for the first time, please type up where you're watching from and who you are. We love to know who we're talking to, so that's great. And also, if you're watching on YouTube, if you can press the like and the share button, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you are watching on Facebook, then please share us as well. So welcome to all those who are here with us tonight. It's the end of the weekend, and it's the start of a new week, and it's always good, I believe, to start the new week with the intention of aligning with your true authentic being before you rush into the week and get caught up in all the ups and downs of the world around you. So these satsangs are designed to reinvigorate our spiritual essence, the true level of awareness that we are. When I use the word spiritual, I don't mean religious in any way. I mean conscious, to become conscious. And the time we are the most conscious is when we are present. When we get caught up in the stories about past and projections of the future, we disempower ourselves. We actually remove ourselves from our authentic being, and we get caught up in what's called the ego. And the ego creates many problems on this planet and also in our personal lives. So who we've got? Share from East London.
We've got Hartmut and Mariki.
Hi, we've got Claire.
Claire Cockett, and I saw Diane here as well. Also, if you are online, please let us know who's here, because others we can't see you.
Yeah.
So it's nice to know who we're speaking with.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
And we've got Therese. Hi, Therese. From Thailand. Good to have you with us.
Yeah. All right, beautiful. So tonight we're going to be talking around the theme of finding calm in a storm, or the storm. And for many people, they are experiencing a lot of turmoil, instability in their outer lives. And if you're not experiencing that at the moment, I'm sure just around the corner there will be some, because that's the nature of the world that we live in. You know, things get quiet for a while and then they get very hectic on the outside. And so we're going to be talking about finding calm in the storms of life. So that's going to be our theme. We're going to start with our usual centering meditation, and then we will bring our insights and any comments that you have in the comments box. We'll try and answer as well, and then we'll lead out with a centering peaceful meditation to help us with the week ahead. What is that coming up there? Okay, all right. So let's start this evening by doing the most important work of the evening, and it's hardly work, and that's to become more aligned with reality, more aligned with truth, and more aligned with being, all one and the same. So let's just settle back in our chairs. Hopefully we've made arrangements that we won't be disturbed for the next little while, and maybe you've got a few cushions and that you're warm or cool enough wherever you are in the world, and you're going to take just a few minutes for yourself, for your authentic self, for your real self, not for your personality or for your ego. We're going to put those aside for a little while, and we're going to connect with that which is eternally present within each and every one of us. What the world needs at the moment is not necessarily more understanding or fixing. What it needs is more presence. The world needs us to radiate more calmness, more peace into the world. So that's what the centering meditation is. The word meditation, as we've discussed many times before, is not a religious term. It means just to drop out of the mind, out of the story. It actually means no mind. So just to come into the direct perception of life in this moment. You might like to close your eyes for this exercise, or keep them open. If you do have them open, it's good to focus just on one thing. So a candle, we always have a candle that we, where is it there? It is there. candle. We have a small little candle tonight because we've run out of big candles. But we have a candle there, and it's good to, if you're going to do it open eye, just to focus on a candle, because a candle flame is sort of a bridge between the physical world and the esoteric world. It's a plasma. The flame is a plasma. And as such, it anchors our awareness in the bridge between worlds, which is a good place to focus our attention for meditation. So settle back. You might like to, as I'm going to do, close my eyes and just drop your awareness from all other times and all other places. Just become centered in reality as it is in this moment. Not in the stories about reality, but in direct connection to life in this moment. And one of the ways of doing that is through what's called body awareness. See, our physical bodies are the vehicle for consciousness in this dimension, and the physical body is nowhere else other than here and now. It's in this present moment. And by dropping our awareness from the stories that we've been telling ourselves into the physical body, we become more aligned with being. Yep, the human is more to do with the stories, the projections of past memories, and the projections of future anticipation. But the physical body is neither past nor future, it's here. So we drop our awareness down into the physical body, connecting with the chair or floor or bed or whatever we're sitting or lying on right now. We connect directly, not through memory or anticipation, not through understanding, but through direct feeling in this moment, what it feels like to be sitting or lying wherever you are right now. So just bring your awareness to be open to the body sensations coming in of where you are sitting. Become aware of where your hands are touching. Become aware of your feet and where they're touching right now. Become aware of the temperature of the room on your cheeks. Feel the aliveness just under your skin of your arms and your legs. Feel the aliveness in your fingers and the aliveness in your toes. Directly here in this moment, right now. In body awareness, we can extend to the ears and to listening. So become aware of everything you can hear in this moment. Become aware of the faraway sounds, the faint sounds in your awareness right now. Try, if you can, to drop the labels of what you're hearing and hear them as a child hearing the sound for the very first time would, not through the perception of a label or a concept, but directly hearing it now. And notice what happens inside you when you truly listen. Notice that there's a space, an emptiness that opens up. In order to truly listen, we have to become empty on the inside. Just acknowledge that space within you right now. Let's bring our attention to our eyes, and if our eyes are closed, to the eyelids, to become aware of any colors or shapes without labeling, without needing to understand. We just are the awareness that's aware of the colors or shapes behind our eyelids. And now we take a very deep breath in. And a long relaxing breath out. You can even sigh it out. Just sigh it out. Release. And take another very deep breath in. Bigger than the first. Deeply into the body. And then sigh that one out as well. And as you sigh out, just release all of the times and all of the places. Just become supremely focused in this present moment, here and now. Take a third very deep breath in, right down to the toes this time, and up to the very top of the head. So you're filling yourself up with like a giant balloon. And then let it go. And as you let it go, when you get to the end of the very long out-breath, there's a slight pause. Just acknowledge that pause before the new in-breath is taken. And allow life to breathe you in its own rhythm, in and out. But keep your awareness on this rhythm, on the flow of breath. Possibly if you're breathing in and out of the nose, you might like to notice any temperature change in your nostrils between the out and the in breath, and the in and the out breath. And the very act of noticing the breath, the very act of listening, the very act of perceiving the chair, the floor, the temperature of the room on our cheeks, is an act of awareness. And awareness is the greatest agent for change. Just awareness. Not understanding, but awareness. And in truth, we are that awareness. It's who we are. As we transcend the conceptual world of labels, we enter the primary world, the fundamental world of reality, direct perception. And there is a force, a power in direct perception of reality in this moment. It's called the power of now. And this power of now has the ability to heal the body, to heal the mind, and to heal the world that we meet through relationship, through vocation, through striving. This power of now has almost a miraculous quality to it. And reality is able to shift in miraculous ways into a more balanced, more harmonious, more heart-centered resonance, enabling us to be calm and peaceful despite any story on the outside, any disturbing circumstance on the outside, any challenges. And all it takes is one deep, conscious breath to bring us back into the body and back into alignment with the power of now, the power of presence, the power of life itself. Just spend a moment in this peaceful, quiet, empty space of now. Just allowing presence to wash through the body, through the physical body, bringing balance, And the light of awareness is the light of your true essence, consciousness, unconditioned by the mind. Whatever we pay attention to expands. And as we pay attention to this quietness, this stillness, this no-thingness, that is being, so that expands and radiates out, creating a beautiful, wonderful space for true healing, true resolution to take place within. Just notice the calm within. In this moment, here and now. This is a place we call home. And this journey is always about coming back home. To a place that in truth we never left. Gently take another very deep breath in, filling your whole body with the gift of the breath of life. And then release it, slowly, slowly release it, let it go. And gently, when you're ready, you may softly open your eyes. And just notice how you feel in this moment. Feel a bit more centered, a bit more peaceful, hopefully. You might like to let us know in the comment section how you feel in this moment. Thank you.
John.
Thank you to all those who's joined us. Hello, Mandy.
If you haven't let us know that you've joined us, please would you do that? And those of you who have, welcome, and it's lovely to have you with us.
Yeah, and I said if you're watching on YouTube, if you can just subscribe to our channel. Thank you.
It helps.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes, thank
So what's happening in the heavens, in the stars? Anything
There's
of
a lot
interest?
of fire.
A lot of fire. Yeah,
Have you felt it?
I have felt it, yes. I'm an Aries. I should feel it.
Yeah, so just I think the calm in the storm is quite apt for these times. We are, well, just today, if you take today as a case in point, we have 5 planets in fire signs. That's a lot. We've got the moon in Leo, and we've got Mars in Leo, and we've got Venus and Mercury in Aries, so there's a lot of fire. And just to sort of add to that equation, we have Pluto actually in an opposition to Mars still. So that's probably, if you have anything in fixed signs, Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, and what's the other one? Leo. You would be feeling that more because it possibly would be working with you, or Aries and the cardinal signs, Cancer, Capricorn, and Libra. So if you're feeling that sort of slightly fiery energy, it could be nice and invigorating. It could be invigorating you to do creative stuff. It could be giving you a lot of energy. But if you're on the other side of that, you could be feeling a little agitated and a little bit maybe frustrated, a bit impatient, a bit crabby. So I think that tonight's theme's a really good one for that. And then also, just so that you all know, I have spoken for those of you who do listen to my updates. We are nearing the end of the Saturn cycle, which is a 30-year cycle, and we've only got 2.5 more weeks of that, and that is a very old cycle, so it's 30 years, and all the cycles start in Aries and end in Pisces, and it's literally at the very end. So whenever a planet is at the very end degree, it's known as an anaretic degree. It's almost like it's a culmination of energy. It's like a builder that needs to kind of be released. So this is not just now. This is old karmic stuff, old conditions, patterns, old fears, because Saturn rules fears around security, around your old things that you might not have actually quite sort of, let's just say, mastered as yet. Those things could be coming up too. So I think it's just it's a good reminder for all of us to just find those places of peace in the storm. And obviously then there's the collector, which is a little bit crazy out there, the world. So if you follow that circus, then it's even more crazy.
And you mentioned there, you said Pluto's like an opposition to that. What does that mean?
Well, Pluto is a planet of transformation,
Okay.
and Mars, if you look at Mars, Mars is the masculine energy. Mars is in a fire sign, it's in Leo, and the two of them have been building into this opposition. So that was happening last year. If you look at it in the States, there were assassination attempts on Trump, for example. That those lined up with that, and now there's been a third, apparently a recent one as well. So it can be the energy of war, of conflict. It's two very strong energies pulling at each other, but it's also sort of to bring things up to a head, because that's what Pluto does. Pluto brings things up to the head. So if you look at what it's bringing up to the head, it's bringing up to the head conflict and possible fire, possible anger, possible rage, going for anywhere from frustration through to war, I guess.
Yeah.
It just depends on where you are, what you're doing, and who you're speaking to.
Yeah. And we mentioned at the beginning of the year that this 2025 is going to be one huge year of transformation and change, leading into 2026, which is also a huge year of transformation and change. And so it is good to find a place of calm within us and not be caught up in the outer storms of chaos and transformation, to come back into that which is not transforming. What is transforming is everything on the outside. Everything that has form is in transformation. But that which does not have form cannot be transformed because it isn't form. And it's for us to start to see that and notice that moment to moment. What is that hasn't got form? And as we focus on that, so we sort of open a portal into a new reality, into a new state of awareness. And that's what we're going to be talking a bit about this evening.
No, it's choosing, isn't it? It's choosing that state of awareness. It's choosing whether we're going to go into the war, which is very easy to do, especially with old stuff coming up, or if someone's triggering you, or we're going to actually drift into a peaceful place, which is always there. So it's the calm in the middle of the storm. It's that center of the wheel.
Yeah. So those of you who are aware of Dr. David Hawkins' work, his most famous book, the one that I'm very aware of, is Power versus Force. And the way that we have dealt with situations and circumstances in the past, if there's chaos out there, we tend to move into that to try and fix that so that we can sort that out, so that we can feel a bit more calm on the inside. And that is, it takes force to force change on the outside. And the world that we're stepping into now, the portal that's opening for us, is a portal of opening of the power of love, if you want to put it that way, the power of presence, the power of now, the power of life itself. As against forcing change, we use the power of presence to allow change to take place, but we impregnate it with our peace, with our calm, with our centeredness. And as we do that, we start to align with what's called the 0-point field. We align with a fundamental field of energy beneath all form. And we alter the field of energy. And in altering the field of energy, bring it back to balance, back to calm, we find that the world of situations and circumstances, events, and even people come back into alignment with that calmness in ways that we couldn't predict, looking at it through the eyes of the mind, the eyes of the personality, the eyes of the ego, the eyes of the worrisome mind, for example, the anxious mind. And it is to realize that we have immense power within us, which is the power of our true being, to influence the world on the outside, but not in the ways that we used to, where we used to use force to enforce change in the physical arena around us. And that's a huge shift in consciousness, to realize that our true power lies within us, within our own hearts, and not necessarily in our force on the outside. Big shift. That's a huge shift. And this calm that we're talking about, so if you can imagine maybe a hurricane or a cyclone, and you have a lot of activity going around, swirling on the outside, and right in the center there is peace, there is calm. In the center of every storm there is a place of stillness and calm.
Yeah, and I mean, we could see that storm as the mind, as the turbulence of the mind, really, because a lot of our turbulence and a lot of our storms, our inner storms and outer storms, come from the mind, from what we perceive and what we believe and what we think and what our patterns are. And so I think this is a time where we're really asking ourselves, who are we actually? Because when you think that you are the mind, then you're going to be caught up in that storm. You're going to be right in the middle of that storm all the time. When you're able to stand away from it and be the witness and see the storm of the mind, you're not the storm of the mind. And therein is the peace. There is the peace. It's there all the time. But we forget who we are. So we actually sometimes think that we're the mind. And these thoughts that I'm having are very real. And this thought that I'm having about this situation or this person is something that I have to try and figure out how to sort out. And what I think John is saying, which I completely agree with, is this is a time where we're actually moving away from that. So how can we relate to people in a different way? How can we deal with conflict or potential conflict in a different way? Can we see ourselves, if we see ourselves as energetic beings, which we are, then, as you said, when we change our energy, our frequency, it automatically starts to actually change the frequency around us. And that doesn't require force. So this energy that I'm talking about astrologically, it's a forceful energy. But there's a middle point in the middle of those two. In any opposition, you've got two sides, and there's a middle point. And the middle point is the peace point. It's the middle point of the circle, it's the middle point of the scales. It's the place that if we are conscious enough, we can go back into that middle point. But most of the time what happens is we get drawn out of it into the turbulence, into the chaos. And then by that stage, we're so caught up in the turbulence and the chaos that we've forgotten who we are.
Yeah, and that teacher of 2,500 years ago, Buddha, who put forward the concept of the middle path, the middle way. And that's what's required now. The middle way is a way of observing the world without being caught up in the world. And you know that picture, if you have this picture of this cyclone or hurricane, and all the stuff is whirling around on the outside, and in the whirling around on the outside you can see your thoughts, all your thoughts whirling around the outside, all your judgments, all your preferences, all your being partisan about this side or that side. Yeah. And right here in the middle is your awareness. Your awareness is here, and if you can then be aware of your thoughts, you're not your thoughts anymore. You're not caught up in the whirlwinds of drama in your head. You're now the witnessing presence. And the miracle is that the moment you are able to be in your center, in this place which has no drama, it has no preference, no judgments in this moment, it's just the witnessing presence. The more we activate that within our awareness, there is a ripple, an outgoing ripple. It's called the law of grace. And that radiates out from our calm center, which brings, in fact, more calm to the outside world. As our thoughts come back into a place of emptiness, no thought, which is meditation, so that influences the whole world around us. And that's our power. Our point of power is always in the present moment. And our power is always, when we are conscious, the ability to choose our attitude in any given circumstances. And we can choose an attitude of calm, of peace. And what do you want more than anything else in the world? Surely it's a peaceful, calm disposition. Is that not true? Just ask yourself. All the manipulation of the world out there, Is it not to find a place of centeredness within, a place of peace and a place of calm within? I'm going to suggest it probably is that. And that's within our power, as Michelle said just now, the power of choice. And the choice is where we put our attention. Do we put it on that which is moving around us in a hectic way? Or do we come back into that place of centeredness within us and rest our awareness in that place of centeredness?
And you know, very often when we do that, we often have a saying in our community where we say it'll wobble into place. And we were chatting to John's lovely son the other day, and he said, yeah, it'll vibrate into place. And he's absolutely right, because that's what will happen. It'll eventually do that, and it'll start settling. And as this settles, so does that settle. And then we've actually got more of a settled energy, and in that place you can actually deal with whatever needs to be dealt with, but not when you're in the turbulence, because when you're in the turbulence you can't, because you've lost your center. You're wobbling, literally.
Yeah.
You've wobbled off center.
Yeah.
And I think that just the other thing, just to pay quite special attention with them looking at the planets, is to listen more and to speak less. Especially now, especially in the next few weeks, is just, even if you feel that you need to say something very urgently, maybe it's time to just step back a little bit, go quiet, and if someone's speaking, listen. The most incredible gift that we can give to another human is to be able to just hear what they're saying, and not to have to fix, not to have to figure it out, not to have to tell them what they should be doing, but just to listen. That's the still point. You are offering them a still point where they can experience and express what they're saying, and then actually vibrate back into peace. If you're holding a peaceful place for them, you draw them into your peace. If you engage in the story and you add to it, you're adding fire to it, you're actually creating more of that story. You're reinforcing it, and you're reinforcing more of the turbulence. So it's all for us all to just remember at this point, because a lot of fire, and it's going to be around for a while. Yeah.
The more you push something, the more energy you give it to push back at you. Whatever you resist persists. We know that saying, and it's absolutely true. You know, if we have a war on, for example, drugs, and we increase the energy for drugs, if we have a war on rape, we increase that. We have a war on cancer, we increase that, because we're giving energy to it. And this place that Michelle was talking about, the place of listening, a true place of listening is emptiness. We're not listening with the need to respond, or even the need to understand. Let it go. And just become the empty space that listens. And that empty space that listens is calmness. That's what it is. And as we become the space of calmness here on the inside, the field of resonance radiates out and is an invitation for the world out there to actually sympathetically resonate with that calmness. And you may well find that as you find your calm, you may well find that the world on the outside becomes more calm because of this sympathetic resonance of vibration. And we meet the world that we are, not the world that we want, but the world that we are. So if we're experiencing a lot of conflict on the outside, let's come back to peace on the inside. And we can change the world on the outside by being the change on the inside. Mahatma Gandhi urged us to do just that. And the most important part of listening is just to hold that empty space and allow what is in this moment just to be exactly as it is. Because we contribute to this world of chaos, the storm around us. We contribute when we try and manipulate things to get our needs met. When we try and, for example, protect our ego. If we're trying to protect this artificial thingness that we think we are, we're going to add to the chaos out there. By letting go of the need to protect yourself, you will find a greater level of calmness on the inside, and paradoxically, when we find the calmness on the inside, that gets projected into external situations and circumstances on the outside. That's the importance of choosing your attitude, choosing the attitude you really want, which is always in the vertical plane of presence.
Yeah, because the thing is that as soon as you start to engage and you start to add into that the turbulence, you've lost your center, and then the interaction is just going to become more conflict, because you actually now you've got two opposing egos or two opposing opinions, and so it's okay to have a debate. It's great, but to allow somebody to have their say, to just speak through what they're going through, I think that it's actually probably the kindest thing that we can actually ever do. But so much of the time we're so intent on giving our point, giving our opinion, and sort of beating that home, that it doesn't give the interaction enough time to vibrate into a different place, because there's just these two forces. And I think, I'm not just talking about personally, we're seeing it on our planet, we're seeing it in our governments, in our politics, everywhere. There are these different opposing forces, and when people are opposed, they separate. You divide and conquer, so we're separating and we're making ourselves less powerful. So how do we find the middle place? I think for me, that's what's needed in the world, not just in our own personal lives. And why do we have to take sides? Why do we have to say, yes, that's right, that's wrong? Because we're just adding to the duality and to the conflict.
And it's to align ourselves more with the power of love than the force which comes out of fear. And the power of love is very much about oneness, a sense of oneness in our awareness, a sense of coming back to wholeness. That's really what love is. Love is the sense of knowing that you are all that is, not the little finite being that is born, ages and dies, but the infinite life force within that form. That's who and what we are. And love is the recognition of that within yourself and the recognition of that within everything you meet. And when you start to live your life aligned with that love, that sense of oneness in your awareness, you become far more calm in your demeanor. And in you becoming calm, as I said earlier, that radiates out into the field and brings more balance to the field. And that's where you see the world of the miraculous start to unfold through the power of grace, which comes into that present situation. And that's our power. That's our true power, is to come back to love, which is that sense of oneness within us, that calm place. Love is calm. Fear is always agitated. That's what fear is. Love is calm.
I think just to realize that we are learning this. We are human. We are in the human dimension, and we're having an experience as humans. So we're learning this. We're coming back to it. And I think that's why they call it a spiritual practice, because it's practice. And it's practicing it in, throughout the day. When you're sitting meditating, yes, that's wonderful practice, because it's getting you into that place, and that's becoming more of the default.
Yeah.
But during the day, it's a practice of vigilance, actually, of just seeing, okay, where is my mind? Where's my mind gone? Okay, I can bring it back. What are my thoughts saying? What am I thinking about this person? Oh, okay, I can bring it back into neutrality, as opposed to the frustration or the feeling that this should be different and that person should be different or the situation should be different. As soon as we go into that resistant state, we're in fear and we're in conflict with ourselves or with the other. So this is a time to practice it. I mean, that's what Saturn is saying. Saturn's done a whole cycle. He's now in Pisces. He's saying, okay, so how's your spiritual mastery going?
Yeah.
How are you doing with that?
Yeah.
And so if stuff's coming up for you, it's okay. It's okay. Even if you have been feeling agitated or in conflict with yourself or others, just see it, okay, I'm learning, and it's coming up so that I can see it.
Yeah.
And I can make a different choice. And that's the beauty, is that we always have another chance to make a different choice.
Yeah. And it's to recognize that the mind is always projecting itself away from the present moment. It's projecting itself into the past, and there comes guilt or criticism or condemnation or blame, always projecting itself into the future with anxiety and fear, etc. And it's to realize that life is not a destination, despite what the mind tells you. Life is not about a destination other than this moment. Your whole life is really made up of the experience of what you experience in the present moment. Your whole life is made of that. And so if you are choosing to lose yourself to the agitation of aligning with circumstances around you, you're not having a pretty successful life. As you choose to align yourself with what it is you really want to feel, what the quality of life that you would want, which surely is a life of peace and calmness, and the feeling of love and joy within you. And then the time to create that is not a destination, not one day when, but here in this moment, right now. Your life is only ever now. That's such a profound realization. Your life is not in the future. It is always in the now. You can never experience the future. You can always experience, and you are always experiencing the now. And in the now, you are free to choose a new attitude, to choose a new internal state. You're not necessarily able in each and every moment to choose a new external state, but you're 100% responsible for your internal experience, right here, right now. And how we can choose a state of calm is by withdrawing our sense of self from all the situations around us, to coming back to that, as we did in the opening meditation, that place of emptiness within. And we do it not once, not twice a day, but continually throughout the day. Withdraw our mind, come back into the vertical plane. With each breath that we take, it's another reminder to come back into the surrendered state of just this moment. Action happens on the outside, but we take that action from a place of peace rather than a place of conflict. Rather than a place of trying to force things on the outside, we do it from a place of power on the inside. That will see that we have a successful experience in this moment, and ultimately we can have a successful life, which is an accumulation of all the experiences we've had on this particular journey called the human lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Finding the calm within is actually our main life purpose right now, to come from that place of emptiness, that place of peace within. It takes one breath, taken with full awareness, full consciousness, to come back to this place that we call home. So while I was talking there, you drew
a
card. So we have a whole pack of affirmation cards, and affirmations are one way of taming the mind, to bring the mind back into alignment with where we want to go rather than where it wants to go. So you've chosen a really beautiful one. That really is nice.
That's the right one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're going to incorporate that in our meditation.
I will do that.
Okay. Super.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone. Let's just settle in and make yourself comfy. Take a lovely deep breath in. And then a long, slow, relaxing breath out. Just let it all go. Another deep breath in. And then just sigh it out. Sigh out the whole day, the whole weekend. Anything that you are holding on to, just let it go. In this moment, there's no need to carry anything. The only thing you're doing right now is being here now. That's it. Just connecting with your breath as it comes in through the nostrils and out through the nose or the mouth. Just focusing on that tiny little space at the bottom of your nostrils. Feeling the temperature of the breath as it comes in and as it leaves. This beautiful rhythm that keeps us alive. And just notice the quiet in between. So as you breathe in, breathe all the way in, and just hold it for a second. Hold that breath for a few seconds. And then let the breath out. At the bottom of the out breath, hold it for a few seconds before you breathe in again. And just practice that a little bit. So noticing the quiet and the stillness between the breaths. See if you can notice how it starts to actually bring more calmness, more peace. Just noticing the breath, and then noticing the quietness at the end of the in-breath and the end of the out-breath. Allowing anything else other than focus on the breath to just fall away, to just melt away in this moment. There's nothing you need to do right now. Feel the release of pressure. And you can let go of the need to think, to plan, to strategize, to fix. You can just come back and come back home. Imagine, if you will, a quiet pool, a very, very beautiful, calm pond, round, let's make it round, a round pond, right inside the center of your heart. This very beautiful, calm, peaceful beingness that resides right there in the center. Imagine a very light feather drifting down, slowly drifting, very gently, and landing very softly on this beautiful, calm, peaceful water. This nurturing space right in the middle of your heart. This place that is always here, waiting, ready to receive us. In a safe harbor from the storm. If your mind should start to take you away from this calm, peaceful place, just gently notice that it's gone off, and then gently, like you would to a child, bring it home, bring it back. Gently, softly, just beckon it back. And then breathe and release. Any tension in your body, just let it melt away in this moment. any niggly thoughts, just allow them to drift on by like clouds in the sky. Any emotional discomfort, just notice it, allow it, and soften into it, open. Just bring yourself into a place of softness and openness, allowing whatever is arising to arise in this safe space that you're providing. Bringing your focus back to your breath. And opening and allowing. And our affirmation for this evening is very apt. It is, I choose to see peace instead of drama. Just allow those words to permeate into your being. I choose to see peace instead of drama. I choose to find this place of peace inside me. To come back to this place of peace inside me. Over and over